Hey guys, and welcome to today's First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at The Wandering Village, which is a brand new city builder with an interesting sort of coexistence mechanic. It is in early access and there are things that are subject to change, but I've given it a good go through so far. I am still, though, however, in the tutorial. It's one of those games where there's just mechanic on mechanic on mechanic, so it's a lot to take in. As always, we'll look through the settings first, then we'll jump straight into the game, and I will show you what I've done so far, what things that you can do, the mechanics that I've seen, and the mechanics that it looks like it's going to introduce later on. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into this and see what it's got to offer. Alright, your options then. Unsurprisingly, there's not a lot here. The graphics style or the art style is very, very pretty, but it's also very, very basic. There's not a lot here that's going to really tax your machine. There's not a lot of particles. There's not a lot of things going on. The animations are very simple, but very well done. So what you do have is you've got scroll sensitivity, scroll direction, language. Your audio settings, it starts the music, ambient effects and UI at 50, but then your master volume's at 100, which never seems to work properly, right? If the master's at 100, then everything else in every other game I've played also seems to be at 100, and the only way you turn it down is by turning the master volume down. If you don't want to blow people's eardrums out, set this one to 50 and everything else at 100. It's an easier way of doing it. It really is. Your graphics options, like I said, not a huge amount here. You've got your resolution, full screen, target FPS, vertical sync, whether it's on or off, shadows, AA, and texture quality. It's what you'd expect from a game like this. There's not a huge amount here. You're not going to expect some RTX on with amazing reflections, although you could probably make a game like this look incredible with that. But the amount of effort and just sheer computing power you're going to need, especially the development team and stuff. It is a small indie studio. I'm not going to expect that from this, and it looks very pretty as is. They've done a very good job with very little. Controls, they are rebindable. Obviously, as most city builders, you're going to generally be just sort of using your mouse for a lot of this, or maybe WSD. If there was one thing that I would like to see added, and I'm just scrolling to make sure that I haven't missed it, and I haven't, is this is one of the very few city builders where you are not allowed to rotate your buildings, or at least if you are, I have been unable to find it. And that's upsetting, because I like to be able to reorganize and change and make things look a lot more ordered than what they are currently on this game. And I'm unable to do that. I can make roads, but all the buildings have to face the same way. If you could add in at a later date a way of us changing and rotating, I would be very, very happy. And then another cool thing about this, it's only a little thing, but it's a really neat thing. If you're going to be playing on Twitch, you can connect to Twitch, and then your villagers' names can be people in chat. So you can actually have a look, and you can enable them to let Onbo, which is the big beastie that you're on, decide where it's going to go and stuff, which I think is really, really cool. One problem I have seen from this, though, is if you come out or alt-tab out the game, I think I saw another creator do this, it disconnected from Twitch. So a bit more stability on that end wouldn't be bad. I think also you have to connect to Twitch every time you log into the game. I get that, but again, making it where it's once you've connected it once, it just automatically connects you every time you log in would be really kind of cool. So that's your options. Pretty robust as options are going to be. A few changes could be stood to be made, and a few additions as well. Let's see what the gameplay is like, shall we? Alright, we're in the game. I have paused it so that I can show you everything that I've got going on before I unpause it, and you know, that you see how it actually kind of works and goes around. So this is my city, my little village. As you can see, I've got some roads going on here. I've got some tents up here. I've got some things under construction, which I'll get to in a minute. We've got different buildings. You can see your entire build menu down here. So we've got all the different options. We have village, storage, food, raw resources, refined resources, Onbu food, talking to Onbo, which is the big guy here. Any poison things, so you've got like a herbalist and a village doctor, because the whole point of this story is that there are toxic spores that are sort of spreading throughout the world, and we as humans cannot deal with it. So we've kind of gone onto this big Onbu creature to sort of survive and coexist with it and stuff. And then you've got your exploration, so you've got a scavenger hunt, and you can go out and get resources and other bits and pieces and technology. All very good. So why is it I've got certain things under construction even though they're not what I'm supposed to be building? And that is because you are on Onbu. This is this guy here. What would be nice is if I could scroll around it a bit. Like once I'm in this view, it'd be nice if I could actually spin the camera and look around. But this is Onbu. There's a big rock creature that has things that you can build on. And as you can see, we've taken up a little space here, and we've got all this down here and all this up here. And you have to coexist with him, and he's on a route. As you can see, there's crossroads. You've got scavenging going on. You've got this massive world that he will just walk around and do whatever he wants. Again, you can't really scroll around this either, but you can hover and see. You've got like big wooded areas. You've got villages and things. All that cool stuff. You can scroll in or scroll out, or you can just click on these views here. But the problem is that because you're coexisting, you're going to do some things that are going to make him uncomfortable, piss him off a little bit, and as a result, if he's unhappy with you, he will start shaking. And when he shakes, buildings get destroyed, which use extra resources. Unfortunately, the way that the tutorial works is you have to build certain buildings in certain order, and it tells you to build things that are going to piss him off before you can build things to sort of work on your relationship with him. What I mean by that is these little spike things here. Each time you harvest one, it reduces the Onbu trust, but you need that in order to get stone. And a lot of these buildings require stone and stone slab, and you're not giving Onbu anything back. You're just taking at this point, which is clearly pissing them off. And each time you remove them, it irritates them. You can feel the spikes being removed, and it'll start shaking and growling more. If we look down here, you can see all the activities, and it just makes it more difficult than it needs to be from the get-go. If you go down the tutorial route, which I have because I wanted to see all the different things you can do, there is a lot to do in the tutorial. I've got quite far in it, and unfortunately I don't know when the tutorial is going to end, which is why I've made this video at this point, because I've done a lot. I've played a lot of city builders before, and we're not at the point of talking to and communicating with Onbu just yet. We've not really got that far into it, but there's been a lot of tutorial thus far. There's still a lot of like bars that I don't really understand. There's still a lot of things to go through. However, I'm enjoying my time with it. It's relaxing so far, but I can see how this is going to get very, very stressful later on. Let's speed it up a bit. Go back to 4 times and watch as everything gets through. So, yeah, these are your workers. You can have a workstation, and you can, specialize whether you want builders or whether you want farmers, etc. You've got a farm here, which you will farm out beets. You've got berries that you can go and gather. You've got all the wood in the world, all the trees, and then the stone. So you've got everything you need to construct pretty much everything you want. Like I say, you can't rotate the buildings yet, which is a bit of a shame. I would quite happily have, say, these things which are upright, but if I could rotate it 90 degrees, I could have fit in here much easier, and it would have just made my life so much better. And you just go through. You can find people. It doesn't look like they breed like they do in most of the city sort of builders. You have to go through and scavenge them and recruit them from water quests. As you can see, we've got root quests here, so we're going to pick them up. And that's how you gain scavengers, right? That's how you gained people. And if they're hungry, you need to feed them, but we've got plenty of food, so that's not a problem. You need to house them if you don't have enough, so we're going to build some more tents here, because that's the thing that needs doing. Now, you can shift and build, but you can't click and drag to build. The only thing that you can click and drag to build on is the road, and that's something that needs changing as well. I would very happily build more huts and stuff in a neater way and do them in a much more sustainable way. But I can't, because I can't click and drag, which is something that you need to do. As you can see, we're now in a bit of turmoil. I'm trying to build things. I've not got enough resources for anything. I'm running out of wood. And I can't do anything because the Onbu just constantly keeps shaking and knocking everything down. And the problem is that with the things that he's knocking down, I need stone. I need stone slabs. And to get stone, I have to piss him off more, which is just going to cause this spiral, which is a bit of a shame. But it's one of those. Once you get past that area, once you get past that and you can start building trust and allowing Onbu to not be so pissed off, I can imagine this being a lot easier. And you've got to basically see how long you can survive for. We've been going for 17 days now in game. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to unlock. And yeah, outside of the arbitrary, we're going to piss off the Onbu for reason's sake, the game's pretty fun, seems pretty balanced, and doesn't have too many issues. So there you go. We've got lots of things coming up that it wants me to do. We've got villagers' needs, and you've got to try and get people happy and all that good stuff. Most typical city builder stuff. It's not bad. It's pretty complete. It's arbitrarily difficult for difficulty's sake when it doesn't really need to be. And the tutorial is very long and there's a lot to go through. But it's robust. Like, it's not too much to handle. You've got symbols here, so it shows you exactly what you need to press on and how. There's just a lot of it that keeps coming. So there you go. This is the Wandering Village. I'm probably going to be playing this on Friday on stream. As of recording this video, it's Monday. Or record it on Sunday. Made it go live on Monday, so we'll be playing on Friday on Twitch. But yeah, let me know what you think in those comments down below, guys. I really like it. It's an early access, so there are still things that can change, that need to change in my opinion. But let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.